Lesson 2, Introductions. So let's start by watching the episode 2.
早上好，又见了。
是呀，你好，你也有课吗？
对，我也有。对了，我叫李一鸣，你呢？
我姓王，王小年。
Okay, that's pretty short and simple, but I want to read it slowly so you can hear the tones more clearly. Overall, I made this video, the episode, to show how naturally people speak in real life. But as a beginner, let's do it little by little. Okay, I will start with 李一鸣. So, 早上好，又见了。是呀，你好，你也有课吗？对，我也有。对了，我叫李一鸣，你呢？我姓王，王小年。Here are the pronunciations and the tones. But let's go over the sentences by sentences. So 早上好，又见了. This is because episode 1 they first encounter. So this is 又见了. I saw you again. 又见了. Say for the daily life sentence, you really don't have to repeat the subject. You would not say 我又见你了. I saw you again. You just say, hey, I saw it again. Saw again. So 是呀，你好，你也有课吗？The 呀 is a particle word to show your confirmation. And 你好, we learned that. And 你也有课吗？也 is part of the grammar we will go over later. And you confirm something, you can either say 是 or you can just say 对. There is no version is better than the other. It's totally up to you. Well, if someone asks you 对嘛, probably you want to answer with 对 to make it agree with the question. But it's pretty interchangeable in the meaning of confirmation or saying yes. And the yeah is again because I want you to practice the simple also for more than one time in the conversation. And here's the introduction. You start with 对了. What's 对了? You say 对 here is yes, correct. But 对了 is the most natural way to say BTW, by the way. So 对了 is, oh, by the way, you always hear people say 对了 is because they just say, oh, by the way, 对了。我叫 someone，我叫李一鸣，你呢？And 我姓王，王小年。So say they introduce themselves slightly differently because 李一鸣 just said I am called 李一鸣. However, 王小年 by replying 王小年 didn't simply just repeat 我叫王小年. She said 我姓王，王小年. Because you will hear both of them in the daily conversations when people introduce themselves. Someone prefer to emphasize their last name, 姓 Wang, then say the full name. Someone just simply give you the last name and the full name. I want to show you both ways in the short conversation. That's why. Okay, there are listening practice. You can do it on the website, but let's go back to the Hanzi writing. So for Hanzi writing, there are not much to talk about because you can just simply practice. But there's just two things I want you to pay attention. The first is the structure of the Hanzi. You can see some Hanzi you cannot tell if it's left or right or on top to bottom because they're kind of independent by themselves, especially Shang and Yo. And but there are characters you can clearly see they're divided into left and right part. For example, 课 class and 对 correct. So especially in 教 and 姓 we have a lot of this lesson. And 妈 and 你 and 的. So one thing I want you to pay extra attention when you write characters like left and right structure, make sure they are staying together because a lot of students tend to make them too separate, too apart. So that will cause a problem because, for example, 姓, the left part is a character, means female, and the right part is a character, means a young person. So if you write them separate, you write them so apart, it will become two characters means a female person instead of meaning surname, because this is one character, not two separate characters. So when you practice, make sure you write them close to each other, so you will see, oh, okay, they are one character. Because in Chinese characters, oh, well, really, there are a lot of left and right structure. That's one of the most popular formation of characters. So that's the thing I really want you to pay attention. And for the vocab, you can just practice by yourself and make sure you read the characters, hear it and read it all over again. Yo, then you say 又见了. Because after all, we don't use vocab one by one. We use them in sentence. So the simple sentence is a good tool. And for the grammar, there is nothing really hard to understand. It's just almost like the simple formula of algebra. You just see, oh, subject, and then the thing, then the third name, surname. And 叫 is also, well, someone will say 我是, I am, for example, 我是徐老师, but 叫 makes you more humble because you assume people don't know you. 我是 is like people already know you. You just confirm, hey, this is me. But 我叫 is like assuming everyone are not familiar with you. Then you can say, oh, I am called blah, blah, blah. So you can see the details on the website. And yeah is just simple also. You just make sure to use them before the verb, especially before the modal verb. And like I said, 对了 is a very common, by the way. And the ma is a question particle. You can just say that after any sentence to make it a yes or no question. Okay, practice with the website's grammar practice. But other than that, you can just simply read. Grammar in Chinese, especially for the beginner level, is really a simple and not very challenging part. The challenging part is always the tones and the writing. So for culture, I love the culture notes of this lesson because you can see when I name the characters, I give you the characters 一鸣 and 小年 because they're so useful characters other than just being someone's name. So 一 is the most important number, and 鸣 is for a lot of occasions like 明天, tomorrow, bright, and 小年itself, not only two useful characters, but also 小年 means something. You can figure out here, so you know why people are called 小年. And the more interesting is why people are called Aid Korea, when people are called National Day, Building the Nation, or Spring Festival. So it's funny, you can read it. It's really interesting. And the more interesting part is the traditional naming the kids, because you get really weird names like 狗蛋儿, 铁蛋儿, 二狗, 来福. That's well known by every Chinese, but not a lot of Chinese learners know about that. But this is how ugly name plays an important role in Chinese culture, naming culture. So there's a little bit more about the traditional culture of naming. You can read them. So overall, that's basically what you need to know for this lesson. I think the best way is to go over with the dialogue and try to memorize them, because memorizing at this stage is the most efficient and I would say the easiest way, because there are how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. It takes you probably 10 minutes. But 10 minutes a day and build the foundation. Gradually, you will have the sense of the language. Especially, I really handpicked and written the most colloquial expression for all the dialogues and all the episodes. So if you really memorize them and you really practice using all the modules of the website, you will be able to speak the language naturally, even you are just a very rookie beginner. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you speak Chinese naturally and fluently in no time. 再见。